Well, Avengers Endgame did it. It was the first movie, I think, in the history of all cinema, or at least recently, to make more than $1 billion on its opening weekend alone. 1.2 billion, according to the recent reports, which is staggering. This movie could actually become the highest grossing movie of all time now with that huge opening. I mean, yes, after this point, there's nowhere to go but down after your opening weekend, but when your opening weekend is that big worldwide, there's a lot of down to go and a lot more money to make. So yeah, I mean, it could pass like Avatar or Titanic. I'm not saying it will. I'm saying it could. We'll see. I mean, even like those movies were big earlier, so that means like inflation. Technically, they could still be the biggest if you counted inflation, but they don't count inflation these days. So if this movie makes 3 billion today, that might be less than what 3 billion was or 2 billion was back in the Avatar Titanic days, but not counting for inflation, it could still be, bigger than those because, no one's really going to do that. But anyways, Avengers Endgame is huge. This is definitely a testament to the Marvel movie machine. Kevin Feige and the people working with him carefully orchestrated, the momentum, the buildup of long-term storytelling over like a decade, more than a decade. It's like 11 years now to build a rabid fan base who eagerly consume, almost every movie Marvel releases, except for Ant-Man movies. But, they were waiting for this movie for years. They wanted to see how it culminated. It was long-form, serialized storytelling, and all that anticipation resulted in a fan base that showed up thunderously to see this movie. Now, part of it is, I think, the whole, spoiler thing. A lot of people felt they had to see it the first weekend to avoid spoilers. They could have waited, a week or a month, but it's if they wait that long, they'll have to stay off the internet for that long because people will be tweeting or their friends will be talking about it even offline, It's if you want to be a part of this party, you got to go to it when it starts. This is that kind of party basically. And so a lot of people, they might not have been more in the anticipation for this movie might not have been more for any other big movie, but they didn't want to have everybody talking about it and giving things away before they could see it themselves. So it's I have to see it opening weekend or else, it's going to be wrecked for me. And I think that's a big part of the reason why, this box office was so huge. I think 350 million in North America alone, and then the rest, 800 million was coming from foreign markets. Huge in China. And, Marvel and Kevin Feige orchestrated a financial masterpiece, so to speak, or an anticipatory masterpiece. And I do think that the Marvel movie machine is the reason why Captain Marvel, which I know this is going to make a lot of Marvel fans happy. I thought Captain Marvel was a very mediocre movie that didn't deserve to get to $1 billion based on quality. But because a lot of people saw it as kind of an attachment or a companion movie to Endgame, a lot of people were I got to see Captain Marvel to see her debut because she's going to be in Endgame. And are the things in Captain Marvel going to affect Endgame? That was kind of it. So there was all this anticipation for her movie too, more than there would have been if it hadn't been seen as an Endgame, two-parter, sorta, kinda. I think Captain Marvel had an increase in box office this opening weekend because of the Endgame effect. I think it rose to number 2 before it was number 3 or number 4 because all these Marvel fans were let's do the Avengers Endgame double feature. The Avengers double feature, Endgame and Captain Marvel, to get caught up to speed basically. Captain Marvel was seen as a crucial part of the Endgame chapter. It's we got to see them both. So, that's the movie making machine that Marvel and Kevin Feige has orchestrated for the past 10 years, 11 years. And I don't see that stopping because they're going to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they're going to do the same thing for Infinity. Infinity, Infinity War, right? The Infinity symbol, Infinity Gauntlet. You know what I mean? As long as they can do it until somebody else comes along. Or, I don't know, people get tired of superhero movies or whatever. You know what I mean? As long as they can do it. But, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.